Hello, this is Jeff Martin from Racer X, UFO, and my new band, Blasted to Static.
Hey, this is Cobra Page from Cobra and the Lotus.
This is Tim Roth from Into Eternity.
This is Charlotte from Delane.
Hey guys, this is Vincent from Car Chaos, and you're listening to the Great Metal Debate podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, Great Metal Debate listeners. We're back and excited to be talking with another couple of metal juggernauts. I'm here with Brett Bamberger and Dan Gargiulo with the band Revocation. Brett and Dan, we're so glad to have you all joining us today on the Great Metal Debate podcast.
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
So we're here in Nashville, Tennessee, in the first week of your tour with the Contortionist and Fallujah. How have things been going for the first few dates?
Super sick, man. The turnout's been great. The vibes have been right. All the dudes on the tour are homies.
Let's not forget that A+.
Yeah.
Tour drive, cheap gas.
Jokes have been good. Flowing like wine, It's tight.
It's been coming out, too, which is awesome.
Yeah, everything's sick.
That's the most important people coming out to see you guys. That's great. So if you all don't mind, for fans out there who might not be familiar with Revocation, can you all give us just a brief history of the band?
Okay, wrong guys. All right, Dave and Phil, the two guys who aren't here, started the band like over 10 years ago. So even though we've been in the band for years, we're still the new guys.
Yeah, I mean, right now, yeah, totally. Compared to Dave, totally. It feels natural, like the unit that we are right now. It's been going strong for over, 2.5 years or something like that. So it feels like home.
We hit our stride when Brett joined the band.
Why don't you guys talk a little about musically, kind of genres and how you guys fit in the metal scene, just what people can expect when they come out to see Revocation?
I mean, pretty much the whole vibe that we're going for is just raw, in your energy, rock and roll, ripping-ass guitar leads, proficient playing, high energy, and just fun.
That's like a lot of thrash beats, blast beats. But we've been starting to write some more mid-pace shit. Not a lot of breakdowns. We don't really do that.
Yeah, we're not really too. It's a rock and roll based outfit, but at the same time, it's heavy metal, straight up.
Maybe talk a little bit about your influences, not necessarily for the band, but for you guys personally, bands that you all have been influenced by and look up to.
Nirvana, me and Brett, for sure.
That's definitely number one for me and Dan, for sure.
Before I found death metal, it was like Nirvana, classic rock, Metallica, Meshuggah, and then I found death metal around that time. Yeah. Started listening to everything.
Once you get into that death metal realm, you kind of just start digging around and you learn more and more. And then Dan plays in another band called Artificial Brain, which I think really speaks for his influences big time. They're super sick. Yeah, it's a really just dark, weird, ambient space black metal. It's killer.
Black death, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Face paint, I mean, that kind of Norwegian?
No, it's not like that. No. Just a bunch of dudes.
Maybe clown paint?
Maybe clown paint, yeah.
No, they're super sick, man. They're next level. But if you listen to his band, you'll get a really, really good understanding of his influences, for sure. Yeah.
As for Revocation, it's like, Anata meets Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Meets, Exodus, I guess. Something like that.
The whole band is influenced by, very different things throughout our years, and we kind of just all put it together. Dave and Dan are the main songwriters, and they pretty much put dinner on the table, then we come through and, put our garnish on it. Yeah.
And so you guys are from Massachusetts?
We're actually all over the place. Dave and Phil are from Massachusetts. I'm from New York and Brett's from New Jersey, so we're all from the Northeast.
The band's home base is Boston, Massachusetts. That's where we practice. That's where we meet up. And that's pretty much headquarters right there.
And so what's the metal scene like up there? I mean, you hear of these areas of the country that have that particular metal scene. back in the day in Florida. Tampa used to be where a lot of those death metal bands originated. What's it like up there in the Northeast in the Boston, New York area?
Well, I mean, I can't really speak for Boston too much. There's a lot of hardcore, a lot of punk, and there is some metal, but like that's not the highlight of the Boston scene. As for New York, I mean, I should be able to tell you more, but
you get everything, man. New York, New Jersey, there's so many good bands coming out of that area. Just, the concentration of people is so high.
Yeah, but it's hard to say, like, okay, like South Carolina, there's like Nile-esque brutal death metal bands, or like Florida, it's like a lot of old school death metal bands. I don't know, New York kind of more of a melting pot, you know what I mean?
The New Jersey sound you can find tonight with those guys from Tooth Grinder. Yeah. They do it well. It's kind of like a New Jersey vibe mixed with like botch. The New York thing has, it's real gangsta, hardcore type stuff going on.
Hip-hop. Everybody.
I mean, even us, we're mad into hip hop. So, but I don't know.
That might be a New York, New Jersey thing. That's why we like that shit. Yeah.
The Boston scene for me is, it stands out most in like the late 90s, early 2000s type of thing, like the Converge, Cave In, ISIS thing, that whole movement, the Hydra Head thing. I was totally down with all that stuff. And for me, Boston always flies that flag, even though it's not really there anymore.
You guys have been doing a lot of touring. I noticed in 2014 you guys were in Europe, Asia, and Australia. Tell me about those experiences.
A lot of flights every other day, so we're exhausted.
We did the longest stretch we'd done without going home. It was like over 4 months. We did a USA tour, finished down in Houston, and then drove straight to Boston. Like the 30-hour drive we did, it was Houston, right?
It was Houston, just to like catch our flight.
It was 30 hours. We had to drive with like a 48-hour window to get on a plane, go to Europe, tour for 2 months, have 2 days off in Germany, and then we flew to China. Right from there, we went to Hong Kong, then Thailand, then Singapore, then Australia for a couple weeks, and it was really amazing, man. It was a full glass, that's for sure.
Tour again, we only really had like a month off in between that and this.
Yeah.
Month and a half, maybe.
But for us, like, tour is where home is, so it was kind of natural.
That was another question I was going to ask, just about what it's like being in a band like Revocation, where you're having to be out there on the road. Is it paying the bills? Do you guys have jobs on the side?
I mean, it depends how long you're home for. You know what I mean? We all have to manage our overhead accordingly, but we can take care of ourselves, doing this, that's for sure. It just depends how busy your year is. On a year where we're only touring maybe 4 months out of the year, I'll be working my ass off at home. On a year where we're touring 8 months to 10 months out of the year, I'm not going to work at all when I'm home. I just when we got home from the Australia thing, I took a month off and just traveled around the U.S. for myself. Yeah.
I went back to work.
Yeah. It depends. He's got a lovely lady at home that he's going to take care of.
So tell me, guys, a little bit about your most recent album, Deathless, just released in October this year. First, what's been the reaction to Deathless?
It's been good. Great. I don't even know if we expected it to be that good.
Yeah, people have been psyched. The record's been moving, which is killer for us.
We've only done 2 U.S. shows since the album came out, because it came out while we were overseas. And then this is the first tour we're doing since it's been out. So, I mean, if yesterday and the day before were any indication, it's sick.
Yeah, because we've been doing the set that we're doing on this tour is geared mostly towards new material, which is the first time that we've done that in a long time. Even with the self-titled, we didn't bring out a lot of songs that we should have. Yeah, I agree.
When you talk about new material, you mean the last 2 albums primarily?
1 album.
Yeah, like we're playing a lot of stuff off Deathless.
Okay.
Pretty much. That's what this tour is all about for us, because we haven't been here on that record yet, and we just want to promote it, and we're proud of the stuff.
And I understand this is your first album with Metal Blade Records. How's that partnership been working, and has that opened up new avenues for you guys?
100%, man. They great.
Sent us on the road with Cannibal Corpse in Europe, so that was sick. A lot more promotion.
Yeah, you got more backing. It's a really big team. Relapse is great to us, man. They're awesome, and they're our homies, and we love those guys. Is time for a little bit of a change for us. And, we made a move to Metal Blade, and they've been really good to us.
Question back to your tour overseas and in Europe and China and Australia. Tell me a little about how the fans overseas, the metal fans there, differ from the metal fans here in America.
It depends, man.
It depends on the country. UK was crazy.
UK,
But then Germany's all standing around not clapping.
UK, France, and Spain, insane.
Sickest.
Yo,
Sickest. France and Spain are the sickest.
They're crowd surfing between songs when you're not even playing. You know, then you got like the Germans, a very conservative crowd, and they stand and look, and if they like nod their head even slightly, they're having the time of their lives. You know, China was sick.
Yeah.
Hong Kong was insane. Like first note, the whole place turned upside down.
Yeah, same thing with Bangkok.
Yeah, it was pretty sick, man.
Singapore was sick too. All the Asian shows were awesome.
Yeah,
And Australia, that was our first time there, but the crowds were great too.
yeah,
Especially that one-off.
yeah, totally, man. That headliner in Melbourne, super sick. Yeah,
It's got to be exciting to go so far away from home and to have people.
Exactly.
yeah, man. We don't take it for granted. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's something that you have to be grateful for. It's like we wouldn't be doing any of this stuff without
Yeah, it's
people
like the
supporting us.
Coolest part of your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting around talking to people, getting to meet, fans, politic with them. It's, you got to be grateful because you're there because of them.
So after this current tour with the Contortionist is complete, what are your all's plans for the remainder of 2015?
We don't really have it planned that far ahead. I mean, we hope to do something big during the summer. Chances are we'll be out during the summer, but I don't know exactly.
Nothing solidified right now. We got a bunch of shit on the table, and it's like we're just pretty much waiting to hear what it closes in on. We'd like to do one of the bigger summer tours in the States. We'd also like to do festivals in Europe, and
Nothing set in stone yet,
nothing
though.
set in
This is
stone.
just what we aim to do.
whatever comes through.
For fans who want to support Revocation by buying merchandise and music from the band, what's the best way for them to do that?
Come to a show and buy a T-shirt.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Buy a
that
T-shirt.
definitely helps us more than.
Totally buy a record too, man. People talk a lot of shit about the industry and say that buying records doesn't matter, and it really does matter.
It does
Most
matter.
especially on the first week too. That's when those numbers really set the pace for what you're going to do for the year. So if you want to support the band, get you and all your homies to buy the record first week. Come out to a show, support the band, come chill with us, and just talk to us.
It's like if you buy a record, that gives us more chance of getting bigger tours. But if you buy a shirt at a show, that puts gas in our tank. So it's
Both are important.
both are important.
Yeah, it's just being part of the scene and being active, and going with what you believe in. It works.
You'll want to throw out the website, Facebook.
Dan.
Our Facebook page. We respond to people if they have questions. If we're not insanely busy.
MySpace.
Y'all have like indie merch, or is there?
We're with merch now. Yeah, go to merch now. Check out our web store. It's facebook.com/revocation.
Is it?
I think so. I think it is. Revocationband.com. Yeah.
Facebook, you'll find it.
Yeah, it will be up in there.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you all taking the time to talk with me today, and really want to encourage our fans to go out there. If you can catch these guys on tour, certainly do so. I'm excited about seeing you all tonight, and if you can't catch them, definitely buy this new album, Deathless. Go online and purchase that. Should be a good get. Thank you guys again for speaking with us on the Great Metal Debate.
Dude, thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it. Thank all y'all.